everybody, Sam here with another In Defense of Bad Movies Minisode. In Defense of Bad Movies is, of course, the podcast where we take a movie that is generally regarded as bad, but at least one of us likes it and can defend it. And this time around is no exception. This time around, our own Bobby Mattern will be defending 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Do not watch one of the ones from 2000 or beyond, because that is the Michael Bay ones, and just don't. I mean, I haven't seen it, in fairness, but I'm thinking just don't watch it. So I haven't seen it, in fairness, but I'm thinking just don't watch it. So definitely join us maybe in a couple weeks' time when we put that one out. In the meanwhile, as you may know, on these minisodes, we typically do a Themes Like Old Times segment with Sam and Lauren. I am the Sam in question, but... Oh, did I not introduce myself? I'm Sam Bowen, your host, your intrepid host of In Defense of Bad Movies. Anyway, usually we will do a minisode where we include themes like old times. However, we've got a little something special for you. As you may have heard, our previous episode was the 50th movie we've done, and if you count the minisodes and the full episodes as full episodes, like as each episode, then this one right now you're listening to is number 100, which, I don't know, I think it's kind of a big deal. Even if nobody's listening, it's still kind of a big deal just to put 100 of these together. I think it's impressive. So, to honor that, we had our good friend Jesse McCann interview us, and I gave him free rein to just conduct the interview however he wanted, and he did just that. And we're going to play that for you right now, and then I'll be right back afterwards to close up this wraparound thing that I do.
Hello, I'm Jesse McCann, and I have the distinct honor today to interview the cast of the widely popular podcast In Defense of Bad Movies. Here with me today, we have Laura King.
Hey there.
Hello.
I don't know if I was supposed to say hi.
No. Look, I appreciate your improv. Thank you.
Well, usually, when someone introduces you, say something. So that's why I was saying hi.
Welcome, Laura King. Thank you.
Thanks.
We got Bobby Mattern.
Hey there.
I appreciate the energy. The energy is really good. We have also, of course, Sam Bowen.
Hello, guesty.
Thank you for having me on the show. And of course,
Thank you for hosting.
No problem. And of course, we have Lauren Bowen.
Hi. Good times.
I think it feels that we're trying to compete, like who has the sexiest voice. And you're winning, by the way.
Sam, do your bass. Do your bass.
Oh, yeah. Doing my bass.
We have had 100 episodes, 50 defenses of bad movies, and 50 minisodes. And this is the 50th minisode. And we decided for this minisode that we would reflect back on the 50 movies that this group has gone and defended. From guests, people defending, to the original cast actually defending. So I had a group of questions to ask this distinguished group if they're willing.
We are. This feels very like an inquest. This feels all very official.
I am excited, and I feel that you too are excited to explore where we're going to go with this. So
Yes, I concur.
Thank you.
I wasn't terrified until this very moment, and I'm like, oh, I actually have no idea where we're going. And this is a very, this is uncharted adventuring we're doing now.
I'm going through our old episodes, and I clicked on the description, and then it started downloading and playing it, and I was hoping that no one could hear my phone.
Yay, one more download.
This is just to explore, where you guys have been the past, how long has this been going on? About 2 to 3 years?
Goodness, more than that, huh?
Five to six, I think.
6 years.
Yeah.
Quite a history.
Our first episode was in 2014.
A young Barack
God.
Obama was president.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Racism was over.
Bobby used to say, like, Donald Trump, 2020, and then guess what happened?
That was my identical twin.
No,
who
he
I
said
murdered.
2016. Sorry, not 2020.
Be fair. He would never have said 2020.
Not 2020. He said 2016. I would have.
And we all laughed.
Yeah, we all thought it was so funny. And then.
We will wrestle this episode out of Jesse's hands if it kills us.
Oh, no. I am not here to control this episode. I am here to learn more about you.
Oh, fair enough.
So you take this wherever you want to take it. I am just the Jungle Cruise guide on this Jungle Cruise.
We used to be able to meet in person because before pandemic, we used to be able to
Thanks, Obama.
Yes.
see each other.
So, if I may ask, the first question is kind of an obvious one. Tell me about the conception of this podcast. How did it come about?
Well, I'll start, I guess. So it was my idea because I've always wanted to be, I always want to be in the public spotlight constantly. That I need to put myself on a podcast, and let me get some of my funny friends to do it too. So
They were busy.
Yeah, they were busy, so I hit up Lauren, Bobby, and Laura, and and so yeah, we had the idea, and I remember it as this being my idea, but I also have a crappy memory, so we might have actually pitched things more than we did. But I remember just having the idea that we take a movie that is generally regarded as bad, so, and then we talk about it, whereas at least one of us defends it as a good movie, and it's basically like a backdoor way to make a bad movie podcast. So it is technically just a bad movie podcast, but with that little spin on it.
And then I think we also were, instead of just watching just bad movies or movies that had a bad rating, it sort of morphed into ones that one of us liked a lot and one of us didn't like at all. My best friend's wedding. Lauren hates that movie.
Terrible movie.
We all love it.
No.
And then
Inaccurate.
and then we would combine certain movies together. Just to see which one was better. So we did that a couple times. So we kind of played around with a few different ideas.
A defunct thing I think we only did for the first episode was we had someone defending the movie, but we also appointed one person to prosecute the movie also.
That sounds familiar.
I think we did that once. And then we never did it again.
We had an episode that we lost that...
Oh, we did in the last episode too. So we did it twice.
Last episode. It was my movie. And then I was very fervent about Leap Year. And I was like, I want this. This movie is great. And then Bobby started coming after me. And so I was just yeah.
And that's
not...
Oh, please, Bobby.
I'm sorry. Oh, no, that's Sam. Wait, what? I missed something. Anyway.
Go for it.
Okay. And that's not what we wanted to. So, as much as I was disappointed for all the work we put into that to scrap that episode, I've made it clear before that the people who come in with the bad movie that they like, I am never in the camp that let's make them not like this movie. I'm much more in the camp of let's see what they like about movie. Maybe other people can like the same things. And so it's more focused on the positive than the negative.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that has changed over time on this podcast. I don't know, I came to the realization, and I'm assuming everyone else, it feels like everyone else did, I'm assuming. I sound like such an asshole. It's more interesting to like a bad thing than to dislike a bad thing. People having negative opinions is usually not particularly fun or interesting, and so I think we either approach stuff with incredulity, I can't believe that this is a thing that exists in the world, but it's way more fun to pick the brain of the person who likes the thing that we're diving into.
It's easy to make something shitty that nobody likes.
Yeah.
But to make something shitty that for some reason some people like, that's worth exploring.
Yep.
Fascinating.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it, and I think that was a good thing that we learned after episode 2. That was.
And so
was it only the second episode?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was the second one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was early on. I know
that. We
that.
scrapped it.
And so the good idea was impregnated, and a beautiful idea was born.
Oh my god.
This is exactly the tone I wanted.
So this pregnant idea is now 6 years old, almost 6 years old, 5 years old.
Old enough to vote, if I understand voting laws.
Well, the gestation period for ideas is wildly, different from person to person.
Indeed. My second question to this group, if I may. So, you have watched 50 movies your entire time. I want to learn from each of you, what was, in your opinion, the worst movie that you watched while you were doing it?
Okay, I'm going to start because I haven't done all 50 because I stopped a few years ago. I got a little worn out watching bad movies. But they continued, and it's delightful. I would have to say that we were just talking about this before Jesse started asking us questions, that I don't know, there are some movies that are just bad, but some of them are just slow and bad. Sometimes some of them we had fun filming. So I think the one that I really thought was just boring and long and wasn't fun was Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I think I'm going to settle on that one. That one was just really tedious to get through for me. No offense, Lauren. I love that book. I love the animated movie. But, oh my God, that Jim Carrey version is terrible. Just so boring and just, yeah. So hard to get through.
I love how raw your feelings are, Laura. Thank you for sharing that.
You know what? Also, I think it might be tied with Pete's Dragon. I hated that movie too.
What?
You're really coming after Lauren.
Heart, Laura. Coming after magic.
I'm not hearing.
And also, quick, Lauren, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite movie?
I'm not hearing Space
You're
Jams.
Princess Bride now?
Princess Bride is great, so.
I'm not hearing Space Jam, so I'm content. Bobby, do you have an answer?
Yeah, I just flipped through them. I'm going to say, off the top of my head, it's a tie between the Chinese version of Only You, which was really, really bad. You didn't like that movie. That was a bad movie.
No, but it was still fun.
No, that was a fun episode to record.
She starts being deeply depressed. It was not fun.
That movie was garbage.
She was suicidal.
Oh my God, a Fine Frenzy song in it, and I always want to screen cap it when it comes on my shuffle to show it to you guys. Oh hey, the song.
I think if we re-listened to that episode, we would find Laura did not like that movie either. And then The Postman. The Postman's pretty bad.
It was garbage.
That was
movie
be
is
on mine.
terrible, but it was fun to record that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to say, I feel a little bit bad doing this, but the two that I'm picking are both ones that guests brought in. Matt McCabe brought us Dune, which was rough.
Yes, that was a bad one too.
And then the aforementioned Postman, which my brother-in-law brought in. That was rough. That was a rough Christmas that year.
The new Dune looks good, though. Whenever it comes out, it looks good.
You just have a crush on Timothée Chalamet. That's
I
why
do.
You're excited.
So cute.
One pretty little sensitive boy.
Jesse has no idea who he is.
He's probably British, if I know Laura's crushes.
He is not British.
Lauren, how about you?
Now, we have watched plenty of garbage movies on the podcast, and I don't enjoy bad movies as much as some people do, like the fun of, this is bananas! Plenty have been just awful, but I think the one that is most unforgivable would be Wild Wild West.
Oh, wow.
Because not only is it bad, but it's a height of, Hollywood talent, great actors, important people, and there's just no excuse for such an awful movie with such a big budget to get by that made so many mistakes, so many just racist and offensive moments, and just no excuse for such a movie to exist in that format.
Just didn't get it.
And if I remember correctly, it was not only racist, but it was very, I don't know what you'd call it, but whatever it means to be racist against the handicap. A lot of
ableist.
There was a lot of ableist jokes in that movie.
Lots of offhand jokes about slavery. You know, it's fun. We're having a great time. What a laugh. There's a giant spider. It's bad. No excuse.
Those
You
are
know, of all the movies I'm not saying of all the movies. If you put all the movies like in a pile in front of me, Wild Wild West might be in like the top quarter of movies I'd reach for to like watch again. That one's not great, but it was fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like the spider.
Bobby's back on my side.
now.
You see Will Smith's dick in it?
Do you really?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was a
For a
PG-13
moment.
movie.
It was.
Well,
I don't
weird.
think
Snuck
you do.
by
I
the
think it's just
censors.
his butt.
A Will Smith like theme song adds a few points to a movie, yeah?
Doesn't detract, you don't find?
Wild Wild West.
No.
Now the
No, I don't, Lauren. I'm just going to keep talking over Jesse.
No, that's fine. No.
Some of these I don't even know if I watched. Jersey Girl, I've seen that before, but I don't remember. Am I in that episode? Did I not?
Yeah, you were. There was another one. I just looked at them and I'm like, did I watch?
Did
I
I
remember
watch
Was I in that episode?
You were. Yeah.
Jersey Girl?
Well, Bobby definitely was in, because Bobby's been in all of them. So
I can't
Whatever.
remember that movie. I mean, I've seen it before, but I don't remember watching it again. Wow.
Well, you're lucky.
I remember,
There you go.
It's a
Laura.
pretty bad movie.
I remember, Laura, that you were coked up in a lot of them too, so you might not have like heard or remember them.
Oh my gosh.
It was a real problem in those early
Wow.
episodes.
You know, those episodes took place in the 80s, and they
I do remember Space Jam, and then everyone was like, "Yeah, it's pretty good," and I was the only one like, "No, this movie is."
I do
Like,
not recall feeling
Lauren-
that way.
I think if we
said it.
rewatched the episode, it would show that Lauren
I
enjoyed
do
Space
not.
Jam.
I think,
Yeah.
if anything, I was trying to be nice to Jesse, but no.
And
Space
Why?
Jam bad.
Everyone
well, now
should
we know
just,
that's
like-
a lie, because
Say how bad it is because it's bad.
also we know that's a lie, Lauren, because people are not nice to Jesse.
This is true. I can confirm firsthand this is the case. If I may move on to the next question for this
Please.
distinguished group. So the central idea for your show is convincing people that a bad movie is actually a good movie. In over 50 movies, has anyone been able to convince you that a bad movie was a good movie?
Well, I mean, like you said, Space Jam turned most of us we're mostly on your side.
Yeah, Leah Tansey was able to convince me that Sucker Punch wasn't actually that bad of a movie.
Oh, you're wrong.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, I went.
Leah, I love you.
Let's go like individual. How about Laura? Please continue about Sucker Punch.
Oh, it was just like she convinced me that it's not actually that bad of a movie and it's kind of fun. And I don't know. I kind of had a fun time watching that movie. I didn't hate it. Yeah, that's when I would say it would convince me that it actually wasn't bad and it was kind of fun. So.
And Zack Snyder has gone on to become one of the most celebrated filmmakers of all time.
We're waiting for his cut. Bobby.
Oh, I cannot wait.
You don't get a 4-hour
Release the
HBO
Snyder
Max
cut of
draw.
Sucker Punch, please.
Please.
Bobby, how about you? Were you real convinced of any movie you were like, I don't like, but somebody convinced me?
You know, this might be kind of recent. I went in pretty negative about Constantine. And by the end of that one, I'm like, I think I'm being a Grinch on this movie a little bit. It's kind of fun.
Okay, after we finished recording the episode, Bobby's like, I didn't like that movie at all. So apparently he
I said I
changed
didn't
his
like
mind
it,
in
but I'm
a
like,
week.
I'm not going to hate on it as much as I wanted to.
Jesse,
Yeah.
did you ever finish Constantine?
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, I let the Voodoo rental expire. It
Jesse's
turns out
shame.
I didn't hate it, but it turns out like I was like. I really was like, oh shit. It felt like studying for like a history test the night before. I was like, oh shit, I forgot to do this.
That is one of the problems I've seen. Not necessarily that, but when you go into a movie watching it, knowing that it's going to be for a bad movie podcast, you expect it to be a bad movie, and it's really, really hard to divorce that expectation with what you actually see. So I don't know that I have been convinced for movies that I'd seen before if I'd been turned around.
We all love My Best Friend's Wedding, so guys,
But-
come on.
Incorrect.
But we always did.
that
That's true,
beige
that's true.
travesty.
Lauren, gosh, I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to be ejected from this friend group.
So I think Bobby's a little bit on Lauren's side, though.
Sam and Lauren.
Cameron Diaz are better.
No. I'm sorry?
Sam and Lauren, I like the question about like what movies you felt like. Did you ever like turn to the other side? Did you ever get convinced?
And like definitely people have given it their effort. Like the aforementioned Dune. I really listened to Matt and I appreciated where he was coming from. It was like, okay, I can see a lot of what you're saying. I do not like this movie, you know? So I don't know if I've had a full about face or 180 or whatever, but I've definitely been swayed. How about you?
Well, I know I convinced everyone here about The Village, that actually had some strong virtues that were worth appreciating. I think similar to Sam, nothing that was like a 180 of opinion of like, you're right, this is great, but this has definitely forced me to watch movies I would not otherwise have done, and to try to go in with an open mind, being able to pick out some virtues, maybe not the whole movie, but just like, okay, I can appreciate. Speed Racer is not for me, but I can see why people like Speed Racer.
That's a good one, yeah. That's a good
Excellent.
example.
I love all your answers. I think you are heroes to the American people.
Can I just get a recording of you doing positive affirmations, Jesse? Because
I would like
my heart feel things.
Bobby
It's
wants
nice,
to go to bed and listen to you.
I would be
Tuck
happy
him
to,
in.
Bobby. Okay, so kind of like going off of that, the way that I understand the podcast works is that you all have a turn at picking a movie. Am I correct? And like say, hey, so one question that's on my mind, and I feel many people that listen to this podcast's mind, is there ever been a movie that you picked that you were like, this is a good movie, and then you watched it again and you were like, oh no, this was a bad movie and I made a mistake?
Yes.
Let's do like reverse order. Lauren, how about you start off?
Oh, golly. I always have a little bit of challenge in picking my movies because I do have a bit of like, I don't like bad movies. Everything I like is good. So having to bring things to the table knowing that they're going to be criticized is definitely a challenge. Like, I will acknowledge the flaws in The Grinch and why not everyone might be on board all the time, because that movie's a little bananas, even though I still enjoy it. Gosh. I can't think of any others off the hand. That's a big one that's like, oh, I suppose Christmas nostalgia isn't enough to make this a good movie, but I have fun.
So you're saying that when you watched The Grinch, you were like, I acknowledge that, like, oh, I watched this, and you're like, oh, I see more flaws than I did when I previously watched it.
Yeah, that's a good example of not like I didn't know it wasn't perfect, but having everyone's scathing criticism to accompany, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sam, how about you?
Well, I think Wild Wild West is probably the one for me. It was one that I watched it years ago in the theater. I think I watched it with my mom, and we enjoyed it. We cracked up at this movie, and I really do feel that I can laugh at just about anything, but I can also appreciate how, like, yeah, jokes about the handicapped and black people are not always the greatest. So it's one of those, like, I could still watch it and, like, enjoy it, but I can also see, like, yeah, this is problematic in a big ways.
Very good, very good. Bobby?
Yeah, I mean, I admitted while we were recording them that Casper and Tron Legacy weren't great when I rewatched them. But I think, honestly, I have fun with both of those. I would absolutely watch both of those again, especially Tron Legacy. The one that's, like, irredeemably bad for me was our very first episode. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, is a truly, truly terrible film. And I would not defend it.
You support Casper over Star Wars Phantom Menace. That's sad.
100%.
Laura?
No, all of my movies are fabulous, so I don't regret any of them, and I think everyone should watch those movies because they are delightful. If anything, this has just showed me that I have really good taste in movies, so.
Wow.
Very well. All right. Sticking to your guns.
That is the most Laura answer.
We'd expect no less.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have had many guests on your show, and this might sound like I'm trying to fishing for compliments, but who was your favorite guest?
Ooh, where are we starting?
Like, what movie?
He's just waiting for us all to shout, Jesse, it's Jesse, Jesse.
No, I actually would prefer that it wasn't me.
Good. Well,
but I mainly am looking for a guest that brought a movie to your circle where you were like, oh wow, this was crazy, and I am totally okay with you saying that Space Jam wasn't it.
I'll start.
cool.
I keep answering things in twos. Before this, I was trying to ask Laura, I'm like, what would have been my favorite episode? I had a lot of fun with Sucker Punch, and I'm, I think that was you and Leah and Ronnie as guests, and I thought that was a really fun episode to record. But Matthew Cape, I thought the Dune episode was really, really fun and interesting, and I thought he brought kind of a lot of insight to the table that we don't like. It was a different vibe than we normally have, and I appreciate it. I thought it was a good episode.
I agree with that. I was thinking of he was one of the ones I was going to bring. Sarissa brought us Twilight, a movie that I would not have otherwise watched. Sarah had us watch Encino Man.
Come on.
I never thought I'd ever watch a Pauly Shore movie again, but thanks to her, we did.
And it wasn't the worst.
Yeah. Like I said, my brother-in-law, if it looks like I'm being very politic, I am. Yeah, my brother-in-law, I didn't love the movie, but it was a fun podcast to do. I really enjoy doing the ones, the big, like we did the All-Star episode last week. I really like the dynamic of us and Ronnie and Leah and another person, I forget who. But yeah, so I think those are probably my favorite ones. And, of course, Bobby Ramos, who's always a delight. Is there anyone I'm missing?
We had to do everybody.
You've forgotten exactly one person, and that one person is listening right now.
Did I really?
Yeah,
I don't know, probably.
they're not important.
Okay. I don't know. Who knows? But... because I'm looking at the list of things guests brought, and I think I hit them all. But if not, oh well, that person probably sucks. I'm just kidding. I'm totally 100% kidding.
That's okay. You don't have to joke around. Jesse's movie sucked, so
But Jesse is a fun one to be with, to hang around with.
Everyone brought something. I don't think I have a favorite. I mean, it's always fun when someone came on and defended a movie, and it's always like. You're very vulnerable when you do that, and you put your movie out there like, oh, here, let's talk about this movie. So I think, anyone who came on and did that, thank you. And all those people are super nice people. So except for Jesse, he's kind of a jerk. So
Indeed. I do not disagree with that.
No, but
I do actually have a definitive answer for this. And one time...
I like how he just interrupts me. I wasn't finished. But yeah, go ahead, Bobby. Why don't you talk over me?
Nope, not going to do it.
No, go ahead. I'm done. I was going to say thank you to everyone.
And this is not helping with my recovery.
Because what I'm going to say is going to sound so much worse now that I've cut Laura off to say it.
No, go ahead, Bobby. Please I have to hear this now.
I was going to say my favorite guest star was on the Great Wall episode when Barry the dog jumped up onto my lap and interrupted me, and I would say he's technically a guest star, and I enjoy him quite a lot.
We will accept that in this interview.
That's a good politic answer, too. I'm not going to pick one of the humans. Sorry.
Well, I have only 3 more questions to go through, if you guys are willing. Wow. I want to turn this podcast kind of on its head a little bit, if I may. So a lot of times you're defending bad movies which you feel are good. I want to hear from each of you what movies that are good that you think are bad. I'm saying like Jurassic Park or Forrest Gump.
Oof.
Or
we have done a few of these episodes already, so do you want to make it do a new one we haven't talked about before?
Yes, I would.
Okay, cool.
Who would like to start?
No one volunteers.
I think 2001 is just about the most boring movie there is.
We got Sam. Hot take on 2001. Please expand.
Well, I mean, I think it also, for me, it suffers from the fact that I have seen, like, I think it was revolutionary. And the problem with revolutionary thing is they get copied a lot. So by the time I saw 2001, I had seen those copies so many times. So they really didn't, the movie didn't really bring anything new to me, even though I think it brought things new to cinema. And just how long can I watch things traveling through space to classical music? It's like, no, thank you. Like, Hal's a great character. There's good stuff in it. You can fuck that monolith right off. The space baby is pretentious bullshit. Other than that, yeah, it's a great movie. No, but that's mine. And that's maybe that's the thing we'll do on this podcast again is some more of those reversed episodes. But
That's a good one.
I don't want to have to watch 2001 again though.
No,
You know what? Like, I think I remember you doing that, and I totally forgot. Like, that
No worries.
You had done reverse episodes, but this is interesting though.
Cool.
The English Patient is the most boring movie ever made, and in the late 90s, everyone was so damn hot for it. And it was me and Elaine Bennis just thinking it was the worst thing ever. And I've tried multiple times through different stages of my life to revisit it and see, did I not just get it? I like this director. I like all these actors and have seen them all do better things, but it is so boring.
Wow. But they did have sex in a bathtub though.
So boring.
It was a boring bathtub sex, yes.
Everything was boring.
Mm-hmm.
How do you put Colin Firth in a movie and it's no good? Bad choices. Bad.
I like how these very specific movies I wasn't thinking of before are getting shit on. So please continue. Please continue. Bobby, do you have something?
Yeah. This is cheating, I guess, because I haven't seen any of his movies in a decade, but the film, the entire filmography of Clint Eastwood as a director, minus Unforgiven.
Wow.
I'll hone in specifically, $1 Million Baby and Gran Torino are just absolute blunt objects of garbage. They're so fucking bad, and I don't get any of the acclaim that they got.
That's interesting.
I love it. Laura.
I like it.
So I'm looking at a best movie list of all time, just because I'm like, what movies do people think are the best ones? And
But they're wrong.
Little do they know.
okay, so
They're idiots.
I have.
Laura has 50 of them. Star Wars.
Of the AFI
That's
100.
true. A Star Wars,
following 99
definitely.
movies.
But I think everyone who listens knows I dislike Star Wars very much. But Lord of the Rings trilogy can go
Great.
fuck
Great
off.
movies.
I'm sorry,
You know what?
that is
Great,
so
perfect
bad.
films.
I hate Lord of the Rings.
Jesse, can I change my answer?
So boring.
Mr. and Mrs. Bowen, let her talk.
Cannot get the 3 hours of your life back from that movie.
It's actually 9
from
hours.
one of the movies, and then 9 hours for all of them. So
Oh, and that's if you don't watch the
director's cut
bullshit.
yeah,
You're lucky for
But the
every
director's
moment Peter
cut
Jackson
are
has
so
chosen
much
to grace
better.
you with.
I'm just like, oh my god, those movies are so. Anyway, and then
Bobby,
also,
let's hang out.
Also,
Laura, let's hang
Avatar. Avatar is a piece of shit movie. So bad. I hated that movie so hard.
Laura wins.
Last Airbender?
Laura wins this
Avatar.
answer.
No, I know. Avatar. That's it.
If it makes you
Any
feel,
movie at this point called Avatar is terrible.
if it makes you feel better, Laura, I think that Peter Jackson's best film is Frighteners. But that's just me. I do love that.
How about bad taste?
Not bad taste.
Jesse, do you have an answer to this question? You haven't gotten to answer anything yet. Do you have a good movie that's bad?
I wanted to just pick your brains, but best movie that everyone liked.
Everyone wants to play.
It only because it was just said, but Lord of the Rings 2 and 3 were not good.
Incorrect.
I like number 1 a lot. Don't get me wrong. Number 1 was fantastic. But as far as good movies that people like, Juno. I fucking hate Juno. Oh my god, it was just such a pretentious piece of shit. You could see the 35-year-old woman that was writing that character, and you're and this is supposed to be a teenager. It's so bad. And at the end of the movie, they're kind of saying like, oh, hey, there's no consequence of getting pregnant because there'll be like there'll be a couple they'll take the baby for you, so you're fine. No consequences.
I'm sorry, Jesse, but you're wrong. And also,
did you see her crying in the hospital bed,
and
Jesse?
yeah, and also, it's not a couple. There's one person to take your baby.
Yeah, it was
possibly.
What's her name? It was Electra that took her.
Yes.
So, Jesse, you're saying that you want a woman to be punished if she gets pregnant out of wedlock? Is that that feels like that's
no. Hey,
I know, right? It feels like he's like,
no.
I guess he's not a
those
Democrat.
girls should be punished.
No. I don't want to
Jesse's
be punished.
extremely pro-abortion is how this goes.
I am totally fine that she had a baby. That's totally fine. But like by the end of the movie, they were kind of like, oh hey, yeah, like everything's fine, everything's back to normal. Even though like I just had like this horrible like I don't know. They're like it just felt like there was like no consequences for having a kid, and it's like that was like a horrible.
I mean, I think the consequence is that she's never going to see the kid. You know, she has a kid and she's not going to see the kid.
I mean, but I don't know.
Because the kid is being raised by someone else because she's giving it up for adoption. I mean,
whoa! This is Electra. Electra was like totally cool with like saying like, "Hey, you can come like back and like see the baby."
I mean, I don't know if that's like something that they were gonna have. We don't know that for sure.
Also, tell me like, what is that actress's name that plays Electra?
Jennifer Garner.
She is so hot, man. Oh my god, she's one of my celebrity crushes. Anyways,
those Capital One commercials. Oh, just
She's really cool.
Yeah, I was like, take my credit card. I mean, give me a credit card.
This is a show about a spy.
No, it was just weird because it was just like it just felt like I don't know, like they didn't do like I felt like that like having a child like was like they kind of like it feels like they undercut it. Where it's like this is not like as traumatizing as it should be, and they're like by the end of it, they're like, oh hey, cool, no, we're back. I had a kid, you and the guy from Arrested Development, we're cool still, right? Yeah, no, we're still cool. It's just, I did not feel like at all. I was like, oh my god, you just totally undercut like how emotionally traumatizing this fucking thing was.
Do you want to tell us about something that happened in your past, Jesse?
All right, so when I was young, I had a swing set and I fell off it. No,
Oh dear.
no.
Trigger.
I can't go into that. Look, but I think Gino's overrated. It's just way too like oh, I'm just a smart teen that's not talking like a smart teen. I'm talking like a 35-year-old woman. It was just like so like bullshit. I have a hamburger phone. Look how cool I am.
I'm going to say that's a fair
You're
one.
very specific on the age of what the art. Did you look up how old the writer?
She's over
when
30.
she wrote
She was over 30. I can tell you that.
So he won't bang her.
That is not true. That is not true.
I'm sorry, I won't put that on you, Jesse.
Hey, you know, like I have a very strict like 30 to 75-year-old bang range. That's what I call it.
Hey, she's
Banger
and also,
range.
for a writer, she's pretty hot. You know, writers are not attractive.
Oh, that's true. No, I would still bang Stephen King.
I say that as a writer.
So yeah, Juno would be my like that's way overrated movie. I have 2 more questions for this group, and
Well, we do have 3 more interviews with other people who want to congratulate us on our 50th episode.
I will make this.
take your time.
I will make this very short and sweet.
No, I'm saying we can make those people wait.
Oh, you are too kind. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
This one is a question that like I didn't want to ask, but then I was like, this is too good of a question not to ask.
Oh dear.
So, and I don't want to tear this group apart, but
Who's your favorite co-host?
who's your favorite guy that's asking you questions? No. Who in this group do you feel has
Oh my god.
who has
I'm
the
so scared.
worst movie taste?
I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say probably me based on quantity of movies that I.
you're
Oh wow!
That I
Okay.
Yeah, I'm being politic, and just looking at the list, I've technically defended the most. So I think just by numbers, it would have to be me. But I hope you guys have different answers.
I would love you all to gang up on Sam.
Sam opened the floodgates for us to say Sam. So I don't actually. I'm sorry. I was gonna say I don't think. I think one of us has worse movie tastes more than the other. I think we were all pretty all over the map. Like everyone has surprised me with a movie choice. Like really, this fucking movie, including myself, right out the gate with the first one for me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, everyone's brought garbage, and everyone has brought something that was interesting.
I agree.
Laura's like Sam.
No, I honestly like it, everything. Like I said, it makes me very vulnerable bringing movies to the table and going like, I like this movie, you know, let's just rip it apart. But I think everyone like had, you know, everyone has their own movie choices and they like different things. I mean, some people are right, me, but some people are wrong. But you know, that's okay. We're all just one big loving friends group over here, you know.
Aww.
So
I agree.
These are all very political like answers. I will answer. Laura has the worst movie taste.
Jesse has seen like 0 of the movies that I have defended.
I saw that stupid movie Leap Year. Like, oh my god, what a terrible!
I've never seen it. How is it?
But I appreciate you guys want to maintain your friendships. I apparently do not. Well, I had one more question. I had one more question for this group, and it's kind of more of a hopeful kind of question. But like, what movies do you guys want to do for the future? Like, do you have any in mind that you would like to do for the next 50 episodes? Like, any of that just come to mind?
I mean, I used to have I've kept a list of potential movies, and the only thing coming into my head right now is Mars Attacks. I will 100% do the movie.
I'm totally just adding this in there as like Diablo Cody was 29 when she wrote Juno. So sorry, Jesse. I guess you're 35-year-old. So old.
Well, you're still right about who has the worst movies, Jesse.
Yeah, so. She was like, oh, hey, yeah. Like, this is exactly how a teen talks.
You know, Jesse hating on Juno so much made me remember. I would totally defend Jennifer's Body. I think that's a pretty good movie.
I actually would defend that with you, Bobby. Let's do it. I would for an episode. You're talking about the one with the Transformer.
Megan Fox.
Yeah.
I would watch that movie even if Megan Fox is in it. I will make that sacrifice for you guys. That dead-eyed tramp with
that
the
movie
weird thumbs.
is like a weird movie. I don't know. I didn't like it very much.
It does have weird thumbs.
It's
just dead-eyed.
It's horror, so like I will totally be into it.
What was the question again, Jesse? I forgot what you were asking.
Laura, what movies are you looking to do for the future?
Oh, the future. That's right.
Laura's like, I quit.
Laura's like,
I'm not on this podcast anymore.
I don't know. I think if we could find any movie that has the Chinese counterpoint, that was really fun to go and watch the Chinese version of that movie.
It's a fun miniseries we did.
My best friend's wedding, and we did that for Only You. So that was really fun. I like that a lot. Yeah. So that anything like that. I'm always a big fan of recording movies and watching movies that are not quite so like on the bad side, but you know, kind of like split down the middle. That way, you know, it's kind of fun to see like if someone will land on the other side or think that it's actually okay. So yeah, that's my goal.
Okay. Who has not spoken towards the movies that they want to review coming up?
Like I said, this is always hard for me because all the movies I like are good. So, like, thinking of a bad movie I like is a real challenge. So I just like to focus on us all getting better and actually being able to review a movie in person again.
Aww.
That's what I want to work toward. I don't care what the movie is. I just want to be in the same room with people I like.
That's sweet.
It is sweet.
Hey, can I throw out a question?
Yes, please.
I was wondering if there's any movie, this is for everyone, even Jesse, if there's any movies that you would like to do on the podcast, not necessarily because it is a bad movie that you would like to defend, but one that you want to talk shit about. Basically, like, what movies would you like, this is for everyone, what movie would you like to do on the podcast?
Lord of the Rings! All of them!
So you're talking about a movie that, like, not necessarily that, like, is good or bad, but will spur...
No, it can still be, like, a bad movie. It can be, like, 0% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever, but it's one that you're like, ooh, I want to talk about this. And I'll leave you another out. or like, oh, I haven't seen this movie and it's supposed to be bad, but I'm curious enough that I wish somebody would do it on the podcast so I have an excuse to watch it.
So
I'll field this one.
ooh, very good. Okay, I like it.
I feel like maybe, I mean, everyone should answer, but I feel like I've probably spent too much time extolling all of the horrible things about Love Actually, but I also feel like it's a bit of a public service to just keep getting that out there because people continue to insist on watching it every Christmas like it's a fun holiday romp, and I could just spend as much time as possible explaining to people, like, that's fine, you're allowed to, but I need you to acknowledge that this movie is terrible.
No, so you're saying you should watch The Grinch instead of that movie?
I didn't say instead, because I have earned it, because I can say, I know The Grinch is bad, but I'm having fun. But people who maintain that Love Actually is good, those are the people I need to reach.
Is Love Actually the one where, like, Scarlett Johansson showed her, like, her boobs underwater? Am I thinking the right one?
No.
Which one am I thinking of?
No idea.
Was that
I have
dream
literally
you
no
had?
idea what you're talking about.
Well, she is
Lost in translation?
Isn't she in like Love Actually?
No.
Who am I thinking of then?
You're thinking of Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant's in Love Actually, so
Oh,
Lauren
God,
is
yeah.
wrong on that front.
And newsflash, he's in love with a woman who's like so fat, and the movie keeps talking about it over and over again.
That sounds not.
That's a preview of the things I would talk
That does not
about in
sound
that
progressive
episode.
at all.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to find what movie I'm thinking of.
I'm really curious. I think you had a dream, and you thought it was a movie.
So earlier I said that Lord of the Rings, any of them, but then I wouldn't want to watch them, and I wouldn't want anyone to watch 3 hours or 9 hours total of them. So I have to change my vote. So I'm trying to decide what I want to be.
Bobby, you want to come over and watch Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, like anytime.
Come on over.
It sounds like a great way to spend half of a day.
Oh, God.
All your waking up.
Sam, you want to come over here and show?
Sure.
Yeah, you guys can watch Magic Mike.
Or we could just, like, take respective
Wow.
naps.
Oh. He's not that into you. That's the movie where she had the pool scene where she goes underwater and she's naked. It's also one of the most paused scenes like in any movie.
You know too much about that.
I have a movie for each of the examples Sam gave. I fucking hate Man of Steel, and I would love to just trash Man of Steel for an hour. And then I would love to watch Cloud Atlas, but I think I would only do it if it was homework and we got to talk about it afterwards.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Let's do that for homework. Though I fear that I have not the knowledge to grapple with Cloud Atlas. Like, I feel like I need to study before I can unpick anything that might be a problem with that movie.
I think it might be kind of fun to watch the newer movies that aren't coming out in theaters but are coming out to rent, and then talk about those since
Yeah.
so. That's my answer.
Cool. Yeah, I'm like struggling to think of like a movie that like I like your question because it's like you're not talking about a movie that's good or bad. It's just something that would like spawn a lot of conversation. And
Yeah. Or that you have a lot of feelings about.
yeah,
I actually have one. Gone Girl. Have you guys seen it?
No, that's the
No.
other one.
It's a good movie. It's a really good movie. I love it. I'm just wondering what other people think of it. I mean, it has good reviews, but I'm just wondering.
Yeah. I've not seen, I wouldn't mind seeing it, though. And the podcast would be a great excuse.
I would probably okay. Now I'm thinking of something. The Mario Brothers movie.
It's a weird movie.
It is a weird fucking movie, and I enjoy it immensely. I think it's a fantastic film in the sense that it gives me joy. But I completely acknowledge it is a piece of shit. That like is just a bad movie. But there's a lot of things to talk about that movie. I actually think it would be a fantastic film for you guys to like watch.
That'd be interesting.
Because it's like I can't even say like even if I went on, I can't say I could defend it, but I could defend it as in the sense like I just enjoy it because it's like really dumb. But
Yeah,
And
I
that is
agree
a
with
fair
everything you're
defense.
saying.
That is a 100% fair defense, too, I think. Is that, like, hey, Maria Kondo this shit. If it gives you joy, it stays in your life.
all right.
Fiona Shaw's in that movie.
Oh, what? Is that true?
Yeah.
Fiona Shaw's the best.
But she's a glorious Elfin Queen.
Yeah, she stabs
true.
Yoshi. It's really...
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about the redhead that was in everything?
What?
That redhead was like in everything in the 80s movie. Like, she was like in every other 80s movie, I feel.
3 Men and a Baby.
Yep.
3 Men and a Little Lady.
Killing Eve.
Killing Eve.
I have one. I know I said I had finished my questions, but I have one final question. But before that, I just want any parting thoughts from each of you about just this podcast and how you feel and going forward, whatever you want to say. So I feel like I want to give everyone a platform just to talk about In Defense of Bad Movies and how they feel about it. I'm going to pick randomly, and we're going to go with Bobby first.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of bittersweet coming to the end of, I guess, my friendship with all of you guys. No.
Wait, what's the sweet?
A thing I have, especially throughout the past year, a thing I've come to appreciate recording this podcast and recording the Mistress podcast too, is that scheduling time to spend time with your friends, is nice. And I feel like it's been really cool for the past 6 years, every month or so going oh, well, here's our excuse to hang out with Sam and Lauren is by doing this podcast. So I think that's that's a cheesy politic answer, but also I think it's very, very true. Excellent.
Randomly going to Lauren.
I agree with Bobby. The real treasure was the friends you made along the way. But it's true because, gosh, I don't give a shit about all these crappy movies. I don't need to expand my palette. What I like is just fine. But being able to spend time with you guys and just laugh and be silly and fight a little bit about movies we were passionate about, and then it's okay, it's cool, coming through that and recovering just strengthens the friendships, and it's really been a great time to spend and grow with you guys.
I like it. Randomly going to Laura.
Oh man. It's been fun. When I was on it, it's been fun hanging out with everyone, and now that we're can't see each other, it's it's sad, but that's definitely the best part about this. It's not so much the movies, but it's the just hanging out and socializing aspect of it.
Very nice. And
I guess that leaves me.
Yeah, the creator.
Yeah. They had really good answers. But for me, it's all about when I go to my YouTube analytics page and I see that over the last 28 days we had 4,327 views, and I'm like,
what?
I know.
What does that mean? That's crazy.
On iTunes, it has 10 ratings, and there's one person who gives 2 stars. Who is that person?
Ronnie?
Monkey Butt gave us a good review.
I got really upset after the Speed Racer episode. So.
No, but I think it's cool that we've got a way that we all have a voice and we can just put our opinions out there, because I don't know how many times I've just been. I told Lauren I don't understand people who don't vote, because if I have an opinion about something, you bet your ass I'm going to share it. And that includes politics, movies, just whatever. And the fact that we all have a voice in this, I think, is kind of cool. I don't know how, and that people actually listen. It's weird. But I also enjoy hanging out with my friends, even virtually.
Very good. Well, my final question to you is, I want to know everyone's favorite movie.
Of all time? Of the podcast?
Of all time. Your favorite movie, the one that you like the most.
That's tough.
Princess Bride.
Very good.
It's a good one.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked me some Ghostbusters, but some other things like Your O Brothers, Where Art Thou might be breaking the door down. I don't know.
I'm going to continue answering in twos and say it's a tie between Fargo and Eternal Sunshine.
Wow.
Excellent choices.
I can't just do just one movie or 2 movies. I'm going to have to do a couple movies because I have a whole list of favorite movies.
Is one of them Notting Hill?
Ferris Bueller's Day Off is just all-time classic and favorite of mine. Soap Dish is another one that's just so funny, and I'm always finding myself quoting it. let's see what else. The Cutting Edge is another one that I love, and it's so fun. And they're laughing at me, but it's great. And if anyone's seen it, they will know that it's wonderful.
Just to be clear, that's just such a Laura answer, and it's not a bad movie, but it feels like a Laura answer. It's like, yeah, that's a Laura movie.
It was sweet, if anything.
Yeah.
And rounding out would be Adventures in Babysitting. I love that movie, and it's just solid. So
Laura, like I'm shocked. I love that movie. That movie's great. It's so
amazing.
cheesy.
That's how
80s.
I think of Thor.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, those are probably like my favorite movies. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of them, but those are like the ones I think I like the most. So,
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Jesse, what?
so
Wait, Jesse, what's yours?
it's tie. It's a 3-way tie. So I will.
Space Jam.
I will also.
hello.
I will also do the I just can't give one answer, but it's a 3-way tie between Forrest Gump, Jurassic Park, and Memento.
Interesting.
I really relate to Memento because I have a short-term memory too. So
Memento is
Memento's
so
great.
confusing. I don't understand.
Well, have
that
you
movie.
seen-
It's like Interstellar. I don't get that movie.
I feel that like Memento is like way more digestible than like anything after that movie because I hear Tenet is a mess.
Tenet is a mess.
Tenet's, yeah, impenetrable.
I mean, like at least like you just have a guy that forgets things, but I relate to him because I'm like I don't remember anything, so this is like totally up my alley.
I love that movie.
That explains all the tattoos on you of things like wash hands, white
The
mean,
butt,
bleached blonde
buy milk.
hair.
Yeah,
The shirtless, looks like you haven't eaten
that
in
tattoo
like
I have
weeks.
that says like Laura is your enemy. Do not trust her.
I believe that.
But it's backwards, so you're
That's
like,
true. So I can read in the mirror. Good. Well, I have had the honor of talking with In Defense of Bad Movies. May you have 50 more episodes, and hopefully one of you will not kill the other. We'll see, though. The tension is high. Thank you for spending this time to do this interview.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Jesse.
interviewing
Thank
us.
you.
No.
Yeah, thank you. You
Yeah.
were good choice
No,
on my part.
No problem. I hope I feel that we've really broke some ground, and we've also have made this interview under 60 minutes, which was my goal.
Did we?
We did. It is 58 minutes right now.
Oh wow, yeah.
Let's kill some time.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. I'm making the stretch motion.
Hey, stop it.
Well, how about that? I hope you learned something. Hope you were entertained. And if not, oh well, just keep listening. Something is bound to entertain you eventually, right? Right? Hopefully. Yeah, so join us next time as we do 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Do not do any of the others. I haven't seen any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. I'm just going to put it out there right now. My knowledge of these movies is exceedingly lacking. My knowledge of these characters, of this whole property, is very much lacking. As you probably heard on the Themes Like Old Times, where we did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the animated series. But I'm rambling for something that I was hoping to make real short. So join us next time. And until then, bye for now.
I have the honor to host the 100th Minisode, which is also the 50th episode of Defense of Bad Movies afterwards.
Other way around.
Wait, oh, sorry.
It's the 100th episode, 50th minisode. Yeah. Sorry.
Let me repeat that, or let me retake. So wait, so it's the 50th Minisode and the 100th episode. Let me start again. We have just passed 100 episodes of In Defense of Bad Movies. That's 100 bad movies defended.
No. So I'm counting the minisodes and the regular episodes as all the episodes. So this is our 100th episode. We have before done 50 movies.
50 movies. Oh,
This
I
is
see
our
what you're saying.
50th
Apparently, there
minis.
should have been a disclaimer on it.
Gotcha. I'm just assuming this will
Okay.
be all cut. Or not, and then it'll just be more funny.
It would be funnier.
Yeah. I will leave it to our editor, but I will start again.